Up on Mountain News this morning, there was an explosion in eastern Kentucky that killed one man. And Clay County hosted its annual March Against Drugs.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. It is 6:30 on May 6, 2024. Let's check in with meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast this morning.
Morning, Madison. We're looking at cloudy conditions, some foggy patches, and some areas of rain. If you look on some of our camera views off in the distance here for Hazard and also in Pikeville, it looks a little hazy in the background. That's some of the areas of fog, but most areas not looking too bad. Moorhead, Jenkins, pretty dry. Some raindrops approaching London. There's some of the foggy conditions. Back off on into the mountains and hills. 59 right now here in Hazard, but we are dry. Of course, the clouds are around. Visibility down to around a half mile in Pikeville and near zero in Logan, so some of those foggy areas are around. The raindrops are around as well, but the warm weather is with us. Most temperatures well up into the 50s, if not into the 60s at this hour. Mid-60s, Somerset and Monticello. That's where some of the little pockets of rainfall have moved in. You can see a little shower there close to London as well. Williamsburg, maybe a little rain north of McKee and up towards Lexington. So you could run into a raindrop or two this morning. Temperatures warm up from the 60s to the 70s this afternoon. Madison, with some of those areas of rain, could have strong storms tomorrow and Wednesday. I'll have more on that coming up.
Mace, thank you. Officials are investigating 3 deadly shootings we first told you about Friday. Kentucky State Police confirmed 1 person is dead after a shooting on Hammonds Road in Russell County. Our sister station WKYT was at the scene and saw a car crashed into a fence with what appeared to be bullet holes in the windshield. KSP also confirmed 1 person is dead after a shooting on Kentucky 619 near Lawless Cemetery Road, also in Russell County. Pulaski County Sheriff Bobby Jones says deputies responded to a report of a gunshot victim on Brown Ridge Road around 6:30 Friday night. He says they found a man dead with a gunshot wound lying nearly 200 feet from his home. The sheriff's office says they do believe this shooting is connected to the 2 in Russell County. 1 man has died in an explosion in Pulaski County. It happened near Highway 27 and shook a Somerset neighborhood around 10 a.m. on Sunday. Federal, state, and local officials were all on the scene trying to figure out what exactly happened. First responders say details about the explosion are still being looked into.
I know there's several houses that's been affected. There's been calls all over Pulaski County, said they've heard it, but the cause is still under investigation. Unfortunately, that's all the information I have at this time.
In a news release, Pulaski County Sheriff Bobby Jones says there is no longer a threat to the public, but since this is an ongoing investigation, the public is asked to avoid the area. With ATVs and other off-road vehicles gaining popularity in the last few years, there have been more crashes and fatalities involving them. The Consumer Federation of America says Kentucky ranked 8th in the U.S. for ATV and UTV accidents since the pandemic began. Red Star Wilderness EMS coordinator and the director of the Center for Outdoor Public Safety at EKU, David Pfeiffer, says Kentucky's geography plays a part in this.
We respond to those kinds of incidents year-round. I think people use a lot of ATVs in rural areas. They certainly use a lot down here in Powell County. In addition to recreation, they're utility vehicles, right? So some people have ATVs that they use to plow their driveway or even just to get down a long kind of gravel driveway just to check the mail every day.
Pfeiffer says when it comes to recreational use, too many people operate ATVs and UTVs under the influence or without proper knowledge, which leads to crashes. Community members in Clay County gathered at Eastern Kentucky University's Manchester campus for an annual march which started 20 years ago. Clay County March Against Drugs is about 1.5 miles and spotlights a serious problem that has left a major impact in Clay County. One of the organizers of the first march, Ken Boland, says it was a way to show community support and serves as a way to celebrate those seeking help.
This event is not a vitriolic event. We're not here to beat our chest and say, we're the greatest. That's not what this is about. What this is about is celebrating people who are recovering and have recovered and will recover as a result of the efforts coming together through the March, through Operation Unite, through all these organizations that are starting up to bring people from, addiction to sobriety and to peace with God themselves.
The march started at the Manchester EKU campus and ended at Rollins Stinson Park. Hundreds of people made their way to Harlan Baptist Church for the annual Harlan Independent Choir concert. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how this year's concert impacted several students of the past and present.
Looking into the sanctuary of Harlan Baptist Church, it isn't a regular choir concert for Harlan Independent Schools, but an end of an era. Marilyn Schrader has worked in the school system for 54 years, starting out as a kindergarten music teacher, then being the director of the Musettes.
It was such a blessing to be a part of it. It was fun. We got to travel and go places.
Places like Austria and Italy. She also served as the pianist for the boys' choir beginning in 1969 until taking over 5 years ago. The boys' choir got to sing at the inauguration for President George H.W. Bush in 1989.
She just knew so well how to foster the love of music in every student that came through her classroom. And she has been a wonderful influence for so many people.
Musette alumna Missy Bianchi says it wasn't just music that made Schrader influential for several of her students.
Not just music, but how to be a young lady, how to present yourself well in the world. You know, when we went to other locations, we were expected to act and behave a certain way. You know, if you look in our churches in Harlan, not just Harlan County, but other places, you're going to find evidence of her hand in lives of professionals and those who work in church and lead music, and it's been a privilege and an honor to sit under her teaching.
So for her final time directing the choirs, more than 50 alumni came to support her.
You heard, they were amazing, awesome. They were absolutely awesome. That really took me away.
Schrader says after 54 years, she doesn't know what to do.
It's hard to believe that chapter is closed. I just love teaching. I love teaching the kids, so I don't know how I'm going to do when I am finally retired. I just don't know.
However, Schrader says she hopes music will remain in the walls of Harlan elementary, middle, and high schools.
I hope and pray that music will still be a big part of our school system. I'm concerned about it, but I'm hoping and praying that the right person will come along.
It's going to be hard to imagine the Harlan Independent Music System without Marilyn Schrader there.
In Harlan, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Schrader received flowers, lots of speeches, and warm hugs for her goodbye. She officially retires in 2 weeks after playing the piano at the high school graduation. The Kentucky Department of Education is giving students a chance to keep their minds sharp during the summer. The department is bringing its Summer Boost program to 29 districts across the state. Some of the counties in our area that will have the program are on your screen. The intent is to motivate and remind families to read 20 minutes every day. The program will give away free books and prizes to students. Downtown Hazard is booming with new businesses, and Saturday morning, businesses opened their door. The Copper Lantern, formerly known as Southern Blessings, had its grand opening and their second location on High Street Sunday morning. The owner spoke about why it is time to make the move.
Well, we wanted to be downtown. We love what's happening downtown. We needed a larger space. This building we felt had the potential to be beautiful and just to shine. So we felt like this was the perfect spot. We've tried to buy it for years and it just finally was meant to be and worked out.
Officials say they plan to continue expanding their business.
Cloudy morning, a little foggy in some areas, and some showers we're watching just west of Corbin and London. You can see the clouds out in the distance. Definitely some areas of rain not too far away. Hazard here, we have some low clouds hanging around, some foggy patches, but the visibility good right here in the city at 61. But visibility is near zero in Logan and a half mile in Pikeville. Watch out for those patchy areas of fog in some of the valleys and up into the higher mountain peaks. 60-degree weather over most of the area, but a couple of 50s to show you towards Clintwood, Wise, and Grundy. And rain to show you as well. Most of it's lining up here along I-75. Cloud cover really thickening through the overnight. Lexington to just west of Jackson, McKee and Boonville to London and Somerset. Monticello as well. Some raindrops around for you and close to Williamsburg. As we get you out the door, it's warm. Again, 60s to mid-70s for this afternoon, but showers and thunderstorms are ahead for us. More on the full 7-day forecast, Madison. Some severe weather chances, that coming up.
Thanks, Mace, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Fears grew over the weekend of Israel's potential ground invasion into Rafah.